Hi. I don't know if or when this will get uploaded to anything, but I'm just getting off work and I'm literally just leaving the parking lot. And I just wanted to mention a few things that I noticed today about myself in particular. So today's the 6th. It's now 2 days after the 4th of July and kind of, you know, finishing out the week of which I've been recording and trying to be more present in each moment, like driving a car. And today, for the first time in, I don't even remember the last time, if there even was a last time. Sorry, you got dropped. I don't know if there was a last time. Today, I was sitting at work and, I get frustrated a lot because that's the nature of my job. But as I was experiencing frustration, instead of going real deep internally and just feeling it inside, I felt like I was seeing myself from the outside. Like I could actually feel how I looked, if that makes any sense at all. Because what I do a lot is I overthink and I get in my own head, and my emotions become who I am. But then after the fact, in like the peaceful moments, when my head's not so cluttered, I feel like I can actually be who I want to be and actually see myself the way I look, the way I behave, the way I move. I don't know. Maybe you have no idea what I'm talking about, but I felt like a person rather than a ball of emotions. And I don't know, maybe that's because I've been trying to kind of change my mindset, but it was brief. It's not like it's not like I feel that way right now. But it was brief, but I noticed it. Even like leaving right now and going home, normally when I have a stressful day like today, I carry that with me and I take it with me to the next destination. And it ends up like affecting that whole next interaction that I have and pretty much the whole day until I go to bed and sleep. And if I don't get good sleep, God forbid, because then it just continues. It doesn't reset itself. But instead, as I was walking out to my car, I just started thinking about there's a special beer waiting at mom and dad's house for me to try out with my dad. And usually, those kinds of nice, positive things are immediately swallowed up and just completely washed out by my emotion, by my frustration, by my whatever's going on. But this time, I felt the actual positive emotion. Yeah, so what, this day sucked. At least I have a nice beer to share with my dad later. At least I get to be with my parents and just spend a nice time hanging out. Dare I say, I feel like work is not my life. Recently, I've been saying work is my entire life, and I felt that way. And now it's like, maybe I shouldn't be feeling that way. Anyway, just some things I noticed from today, so who knows if and when you'll see this. Good morning. How's it going? Today is Saturday, the 8th of July, and this morning I slept in, which I never do, but it was another late night. At least I got to sleep this time. I have hit the record button a couple of times since the last video. On Thursday, I got to go over to my parents' house and try out a new beer. It's an IPA called Pliny the Elder, and it was pretty good. It had like all of the flavor of a regular IPA, but it didn't have that bitterness on the back end. It was just a very smooth IPA. And then Friday, a friend of mine had a birthday, so we all went out to a Mexican kitchen and bar. We had some drinks, we had some food. I had enchiladas or enchiladas. Probably didn't sound any better. And then we all went over to her house to have a party and just enjoy the night. So that resulted in me getting home at about 2 a.m. But that's okay because, again, I slept in, which my body doesn't usually let me do. And I'll let you in on something. I'm one of those people that wakes up, and if I open my phone and I start scrolling through Instagram or something, I'll be there for a good hour or two if I don't have to be anywhere else. So that's what I was doing, and then I got a little drop down notification on my phone that said Lyft. Now, there's a whole reason to why that was set as a notification on my phone, but I'll talk about that later. No big plans this weekend. Today's going to be a pretty normal day, but hey, maybe hitting the record button isn't such a bad idea still. So I've got to go lift. I've got to go take some stuff to the recycling center. I've got a whole bunch of laundry and probably a couple of other chores I need to take care of around here. So this is going to be more of a normal day slash compilation of things I've hit the record button on. So without further ado, and before the gym gets too busy, hopefully, I am off. There we go. One thing I did not account for is how hot it is. I didn't realize it was going to be so warm. It's only about like 9:30, 10 o'clock, and it's already getting pretty toasty outside. So as soon as I walked out, I walked back in and grabbed these because I'm going to eat them. But now, on our way. To the shock of absolutely no one, but still tragically, it is super busy already. But even more tragically, I forgot my headphones. I'm not too worried though, because this gym usually has a pretty good playlist bumping, regardless of who's taking the controls. We'll see how much I can do with how busy it is, but at least I'm here. Alright. So 30 minutes later, I'm out. I actually managed to get some stuff done. It was leg day, but more on that later. On to my next stop. Bottles. The recycling is done, and now it's time to turn those empty bags into full ones. Finally back home, did the recycling, went to the gym, went to the grocery store. I've got everything put away. I was thinking about washing my car, but it's pretty damn hot out there, so I think I'll wait until tomorrow. I did want to give you guys a little bit of story time. Earlier I mentioned that I got a notification on my phone that told me to go lift today. And when I finished at the gym, I had mentioned that it was leg day for a reason. So about a month and a half ago, maybe 2 months now, I started really getting back into running. Taking it back even further, I used to be a runner in high school, which then eventually led into me getting a degree in kinesiology in college, which then actually led to me making some videos and even an entire Instagram about fitness and running and exercise. It's nothing crazy, it's not like super professional or anything, but just a little bit of background. I've only been injured once in my running career. That was until about 3 weeks ago. So I was running every other day, and I was on my 6th time of doing that. I had just run about 4.5 miles 2 days before, and I was running about just a 3 mile run the day I got hurt. And it wasn't even anything crazy that happened. I literally was just running. I felt tightness in my hip, and then I felt pain on the inside of my knee. So I tried one more run. It didn't work out, and I figured better to rest than get more injured. So I rested for about 2 weeks, and I was like, okay, let's give this another shot. I went out for a run in my neighborhood. Immediately could tell my knee was still not okay. I tried to push through. I thought maybe I just needed to break through, the rust that had built up over those 2 weeks. But no. After just short of a mile, I was like, that's it. I'm calling it. I got home, put a big old ice pack on my hip, put a big old ice pack on my knee, and just figured I need to do something else. Which really sucks because with the weather being so nice and being in California, it's the perfect time to be running frequently. But my body has other ideas, and I know better than to keep beating up my knee and my hip with all of the education that I've had. So instead, I figured I'd go back to what I was doing before I got into this running routine, which was going to the gym and lifting all the time. Obviously, I don't lift super heavy, but it was definitely helping with kind of the strength overall of my body. And when I transitioned to running, I moved away from that weightlifting. So I think that might have had something to do with this whole thing going on. And sure enough, I think I confirmed that today with going to the gym and working on my legs. So I like doing the hip rotation machines to kind of keep those muscles moving and loose. And I noticed after finishing those machines, which is usually the last thing that I do, my left hip was fine. My right hip from the front all the way over to the back is still sore. So I think, and if you're an anatomy major out there, put your thinking cap on. I think there's either so much tightness or some kind of a tear here that's affecting the front of my hip because it's pulling it over, which is affecting my knee because it's pulling on my knee as well. I'm not looking for a diagnosis, but I think I know that I need to take care of my hip before I can get back into running. So that's why I had a notification to go lift today, because it was notifications to go run every other day. And it was leg day because I wanted to test out and see how my legs were. Pretty much every leg lift that I did today was okay, except for that rotation. So I'm thinking that that's what's going on. There's something with my glutes or my hip flexors. So hopefully, I can take it easy and focus on movement and strength rather than running, and I'll be able to run again. I might have to buy some new shoes too. But man, does it suck to get injured. Despite the 4th of July being the biggest event of the week, everything after has been a lot of fun, and I felt a lot better mentally. I think it might have a little bit to do with doing this, so why not keep doing it? And hopefully you guys keep enjoying it. And as always, thanks for tuning in.